Hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the League 2 Hour with a difference this evening. Of course, if you've not been living under a cave for the day, it is, of course, transfer deadline day, which means most clubs, at least up and down the country, have been trying to add players to help them get to where they want to be over the second half of the season. And myself and my good friend Lee are going to have a quick look back at last Tuesday's results, then the weekend, and then we will spend the evening going through those transfer deals that have happened today and have happened across the month. And we'll try and pick out those that we like the most, those that we think maybe look a little bit desperate. Yeah, it's been a lot going on since we spoke last week, mate. 2 rounds of games and, of course, lots of business being done.
Yeah, you try and keep your eye on the transfers. I know you've smashed it out of the park. So I'll let you run the floor with that one because you've got many notes on that. But yeah, I'm looking at obviously the weekend's results, but then you forget that there's been fixtures last Tuesday as well. I know there were a couple called off, but yeah, lots happening, lots of activity, and that's what we like.
Absolutely. So, without further ado, we shall say hellos to those that are in the chat, and then we will crack on going through. It'll be Vidi printer style this week. We've not done feature games because obviously we want to do a deep dive into those signings and those departures. So, first up is Sid.
Good.
Evening, Sid. He says, "Hi, lads. Evening, mate. Nice of you to join us again. Bradford shifting a few out, I've seen. TC Troy Boy says, evening, Matt and Lee. Good evening, mate. Greg the Fish is in the chat. Evening, buddy.
Up the Greg the Fish.
Up the fish. Nick Castleton, friend of the channel. Jules fan. Evening, lads. Looking forward to this one. Yeah, we have been all day. George says, hello. Evening, George. Got a hello to both of us from Dennis as well. Hope you're well, Dennis. Finn, friend of the channel, who made his debut appearance on Jules in the Blood on Saturday. Hello, mate. You all right? Yeah, we're all good. Yeah, I think Finn might be happy with one signing that we've made today, which we'll get to in a little while. Says, hope you were both well. Yeah, very well. Thank you, mate. Justin is in the chat as well and says, evening, gents. I wasn't going to watch tonight as I'm still wounded from the Bromley game, but I'm sticking with it. Can we not mention the Jules game? We're going to try and dust over it as quick as we can. Like I say, it's going to be Vidi printer style results this week, so there'll be no deep dive into that game.
Just drilling up for one, probably 4. Right, next one.
It didn't happen. Pinch of salt. Eileen Black says, hi all. Evening, Eileen. And Lee's good friend, the wheelchair king.
I hope you're getting better, mate.
Watching, yeah. I've heard you've been in for an operation, mate. Hope you're doing well and swift recovery so you can get yourself back to watching the football. Right. Let's have a look, mate, at last 44 of you already watching. This is astounding. So thank you very much. You know what you have to do. We're not even going to get Lee to put it as a message this week. Press like, press subscribe to both channels, hit hype if you've not run out of free goes, and yeah, all that jazz.
Hype, you always get free goes, don't you? Free bashes it.
Yeah, then you have to pay for it. But Lee said if he'll pay for it because he earns money.
Yeah.
Jamie's in the chat. Evening, Jamie. Evening, gents. Looking forward to the show. Blimey, menu. These are coming in thick and fast. 4 Prem in a row. Who have Cheltenham signed? My friend is a Cheltenham fan. They have done a bit of business. I think there's 3 were in before today. I know there's a couple of rumours going around that they might be signing a couple from Wrexham as well. So we'll try and keep an eye on that throughout the show. Who else we got? We've got John Oliver, fine. I'll press like as you asked nightly. Cheers, so much appreciated.
And he's got the yellow tie on. I like that.
Oh, he did. Oh, yeah, his profile picture was very apt. Yeah, very Jim White. Sid says, hanging there, Gills fans, no open bus parade in February. Yeah, I fear there's not going to be one in May either for us, Sid. Here's a question for later, mate. Pop 5000 said, what's the best signing of the day across the league? The day or the entire window? We can try and do both, but it's going to be difficult to differentiate. I mean, there's probably some favourites to look at. Might be someone like MK Don's business, but we'll try and come back to that one. So give us a nudge if we do forget and we're halfway through the show. Don't forget goal scorers in League 2, gents. Predictions reminder. Yeah, sorry, Darren, that might have to be postponed for another week because we forgot that
we've got so much
tonight. So we'll try and have a look. Liam Welby's in the chat. Evening, Liam. Hello, Matt and Lee. Yeah, we're good, thank you, mate. And Pop 5000 said he wants us to do both, so we will try and do that. But let's have a look at last Tuesday quickly. I think there were 10 games, wasn't there? I know Gills got called off at Cheltenham, and I think Barrow Oldham fell foul of the weather as well.
Yeah.
County 1, Accrington 4. So after we'd said last week that we thought
Yeah.
the corner, they've lost back-to-back games, I think, got absolutely slapped at home to Accrington. A horrible, horrible result. There was a goalless draw between Walsall and Crawley as Walsall continued to slide a little bit. Chesterfield, though, mate, picked up a really big win, 1-0 at Salford. I think it was a last-minute own goal. That's a huge win for the Spireites. We've been a bit patchy on the road.
It is, especially at Salford, because they're flying high. Yeah, a massive win, because like I said, away I think's been their Achilles heel this season, Spireites, and if they could set that right, they're still in the picture. But yeah, it's a massive, massive result, because like I said, Salford are been unbelievable this season.
Yeah, huge win. Like I say, it's that stage of the season now where it don't matter how you win, it's just getting yourself over the line, and it's own goal screamer. It don't count for anything extra. It's 3 massive points for Chesterfield. There's a big win as well for Notts County. They beat Swindon by 2-1 as Ian Holloway's men continue to stutter. There was one particularly entertaining interview from Mr. Holloway at the weekend surrounding, I think it's his captain, Ollie Clark, who keeps getting banned. But it seems to be everybody's fault apart from Ollie Clark and Swindon's at the moment, which is quite amusing. MK Dons won 1-0 against Bristol Rovers. Fleetwood picked up their first win in a while. They went to Harrogate and won by 2-1, but no offence, but everyone wins at Harrogate. Huge win as well for Grimsby. 10 men Grimsby, I think, for about the last half hour in that one, mate. They held on for a huge 1-0 win against a decent Colchester side. And, say it quietly, David Artell's men are just playing themselves back into playoff contention.
Yeah, we spoke about them last week, and obviously they've had recruitment, few bodies in. It seems to have helped, and it's set them back on course. Like I said, that's a big win as well, especially going down to 10 men. I know they scored before that, but yeah, it's a massive result, because going to Colchester on Tuesday night to get that 3 points is huge.
Absolutely, yeah, monster win, and yeah, some decent business which we'll get to as well. Certain Andy Cook, who does all right at this level. There was a big win for Cambridge as well. Late goal in that one, I think, in injury time, as they saw off Shrewsbury by 1-0. Bromley and Crewe played out an entertaining 2-2 draw. Only downside for Bromley in that one was Omar Shwomi coming off with an injury, but we will talk about Bromley a little while, and just the fact that they replace giant centre halves with giant centre halves, it makes absolutely no difference. And that is as in depth as I'm going to talk about the game from the weekend. And the final game on Tuesday was Barnet, Tranmere 0. Seems that Barnet are finding a way to get results, but not playing well at the moment, according to their fans. And they keep themselves in contention in the top half of the table. And then we move on to Saturday, but we'll do a few more comments first. Simon Bradshaw is back. Evening, Simon. He says, evening, Matt and Lee. Good to see you in the chat again, mate. Friend of the channel, Reese, German Gills, very pleased with Gillingham's business. Happy to have experience at the back now. Also, Howe looks different gravy. Yeah, promising cameo from the Northern Ireland International on Saturday, despite the results. Simon goes on to say, what can I say about the game on Saturday? Just hope Michael Mellon has a big room in summer. Big clear out at Oldham needed. Lee, I'll put you on the spot with this one. Obviously, you watch Oldham more than I do. Agree with Simon? Tweaks, wholesale changes needed?
Yeah, but I think they've recruited fairly decent. You look at Kavanagh coming in from Bradford. I think he's a really good signing. Obviously, I think the aim was always this season stabilise. We've echoed this so many times on this this live, and I think sometimes you can get a little bit carried away that, yeah, you've got a promotion and you've got a taste for it and you want it again. But for me, mid-table, Oldham, first season back in the Football League, I think it's a really good season. It's all about stabilising. Obviously, then you can keep improving. And yeah, obviously, teams, you look at teams also that's gone through the leagues, you also want a piece of that, but sometimes it isn't possible because Oldham's budget compared to them teams isn't the same. So I think sometimes you've just got to level head, stabilise, obviously, and then next season you build and you get better players, and then you can look to push up the league next season. But
It looks like
first season,
mid-table's not a disaster, is it? To consolidate in a really open league, the same as Barnet, and again, we're repeating ourselves, but opinion hasn't changed on both of them. Yeah, it looks like Oldham have got 4 in as we talk at the moment, 2 loans and 2 permanents. But obviously, if anyone does see any deals that go through late, just let us know and we can talk about them as well. Just stick it in the chat. That'd be brilliant, because we are trying to talk to you guys and keep looking at our phones and clubs up and down the country as well. What we got here? We got Troy says travel to Notts County tomorrow, only 4 games. Yeah, this is a game that has been rearranged, so big game for Gills tomorrow. There is a few fixtures going on. Dale, I think, who is a Notts County fan, that was a nice little segue to the next comment. He says, evening Dale, good to see you, mate. James has asked, how do we rate the Gills transfer window? We'll get to that when we start doing transfers, mate, no problem at all. Bob 5000 says, was Ryan Graydon to Salford at a reported fee of up to 600k a sign of the times, or is it just crazy money? Bit of both for me. I mean, if it was rumoured, what MK Dons paid, was it 850 for Aaron Collins in the summer? Graydon, you'd say, is probably in that next bracket just below Collins, and yeah, it's mental to think that League Two sides are paying over $500,000 for frontmen. I know strikers that score goals cost a little bit, but for me, mate, I don't know what you think. It's probably somewhere in between the two. It is a little bit the sign of the times now. That's the way the money's filtering down. But yeah, it still does. I mean, I'm 43, so it seems a bit mad that sides in League Two are spending out that amount on one player.
100%, but I think it filters through the leagues. Look at the money that's being spent in these bigger clubs. The demand is there, and yeah, I think Salford have got the taste that they're in a prime position. I think that they're wanting to really have a bash, because it's probably been the best season that they've had for a good few seasons, and they're well in the picture. I think they had a bid for Ryan and a couple of bids turned down.
Oh yeah, that was rumoured this morning, wasn't it? That story broke. Yeah,
it should be interesting to see what they offered there, because I'd imagine that was probably more, because he's bagging for fun, and fair play to Holloway. I think he said the only way I'd sell him is probably to a championship club, because that's where I see him being. Yeah. It won't obviously be silly to sell him to Salford, because it's a rival.
Yeah, direct rival. You'd be daft, and like you say, at this stage as well, it's the other factor is you're not getting in time to get someone in to replace him, so you're immediately weakening yourself and making someone who's just around you in the table much stronger as well. There are a few rumours that I don't know that I saw on social media. One was reported by Sports PO, which is Peter O'Rourke, who's generally pretty spot on. He was reporting that Blackpool in League One are set to win the race for Barnet winger Ryan Glover. Now, Glover's had a really good season. So there are already Barnet fans in the chat. I'm assuming you're going to be disappointed if that one does go through. So that's one to keep an eye on before 8 o'clock. Same journalist was also reporting that Mitch Clark of Port Vale was set to join Fleetwood on loan for the rest of the season. And a couple of bits on Cheltenham. Their local journalist, John Palmer, you can find him on Twitter at John Palmer Sport, was reporting that Wrexham midfielder Harry Ashfield and striker Mo Fowle could also be on the move down to Steve Cottrell's side. I'm assuming that would be 2 loan moves for the rest of the season.
I'd read just before coming on, sorry mate, that Quigley were going from Oldham to Bristol Rovers, whether it got done.
Oh yes, that was, I did see that. Bristol Rovers fans looked absolutely thrilled with that one.
Yeah.
He's one of them players who I think's got a good agent, and that's the politest way to put it. Yeah, the final rumour, another one from John Palmer surrounding Cheltenham, which would be good news for them, is apparently Isaac Hutchinson is going back there on loan for the rest of the season from Bristol Rovers. I know Steve Evans recalled him when he took the job, but it seems he's still surplus to requirements, so that would be a great addition for Cheltenham if they can get him back, because he was having a decent campaign in a poor side at the start of the season. So you'd hope for their sake he'd thrive now that Cheltenham are in a better place. But yeah, so they're ones we'll try and keep an eye on. Who else have we got in the chat?
41 watching. Smash the like button.
Her father didn't like me. He's doing a little bit of League One reporting for us, which is nice. He must know I
love it.
want to get promoted. Looks like Bolton are signing Johnny Kenny, the Republic of Ireland striker on loan from Celtic. That's great for Bolton. But yeah, you're getting ahead of yourself in terms of my football team in League One. Bill Anderson, evening, Bill. Good to see you, mate. Not seen you for a while at games. Good evening, chaps. We sat in the Medway stand for a change close to Andy Woodman. He only issued one instruction to his team in the whole of the first half, and that was to push up. Very good side. Yes, them last three words are very much key for me. They are a very good side. Finn is asking, what do we reckon we are doing with Shadogi and Johnny Williams? Well, nothing now. It looks like the deadline's passed, so I'm assuming they're going to be with us till the end of the season, and we'll see out their contracts. Pinch of salt, Eileen says Finn City. I would add Masterson to that list as well.
There's some wild names on here. I absolutely love it. Pinch of salt.
We asked this about before, didn't you used to bake?
Yeah.
Eileen, can you just refresh our memories? We might be just completely barking up the wrong tree, but
we're just intrigued in names. I think they're fascinating.
Oh, absolutely. I love them, yeah. Especially when there's no pictures as well to give us an obvious clue.
Yeah.
Ash AA says evening, gents. So evening to Ash. Greg the Fish, what did you make of the rumours of Tranmere's Omari Patrick? That is Greg. Yeah, this was another weird one that sort of broke late on Sunday, didn't it? But there's obviously nothing's happened, so it must have just been unsubstantiated. Cause a big word for us, isn't it?
No, surely Tranmere would not let him go for the state.
Well, he's put something up, hasn't he? He weren't in their squad on Saturday, and he's had to put something up about on his Instagram story today surrounding rumours that he's refusing to play, which he's saying is not the case. So I thought he was going to leave. I mean, it might still be done. We know that paperwork can go through and it can get reported later, so there might still be some deals that get done after we stop recording.
Before we come on, you said that there might possibly be one more. Is that who you want?
Someone had said there was whispers of Gills of one more, but I didn't think it was Patrick. No, that had sort of gone a bit quiet from both ends, and it was all being labelled as just chat, and that was it. But it looks like Gills are done. Simon Bradshaw said on field if Quigley is signing for Bristol Rovers, what a shocking signing. Yes, he must have a good eye. Yeah, he's one of them players that always works hard, but he just, for all his attributes as a number 9, he just doesn't score goals, does he? That's the trouble. I mean, I know Chesterfield fans rate him quite highly.
I think the worst thing about him is his height and his lack of hold-up play is quite astonishing. It just gets bullied.
Yeah, it's what you see from him on a pitch is completely the opposite of what you'd expect to see from him. He's big, he's strong, he's a lump, but yeah, like you say, he just gets knocked off the ball too easily. I know Chesterfield have got an affinity with him because he's done well for them in the National League when they got promoted, but I'm not sure there's many other fan bases that are that disappointed when he leaves their football club. Sid says Cav gone to Oldham yesterday. Yeah, we got that one. Cheers, Sid. Thank you, mate. That'd be a good signing for Oldham. Lee's already mentioned that. Finn says, Masterson has sadly been injured this season badly. I won't say he should go. Just another injury for Connor. So that'll be something that probably comes into the thinking when we look to renew or not.
52 watching. Wow.
I've got it as 59 actually on stream. So thank you very much. Come on, let's get to 60. Keep smashing that like button. Keep pressing subscribe and all that jazz. We really do appreciate it. Right, let me just find.
We'll keep trying to talk like we know what we're on about.
That's it, yeah. We'll just keep blagging our way through. We're all having fun, aren't we? So we mentioned a pie or your favourite scrap. Lee had apple crumble and custard at the weekend. If anyone's seen his socials, that looks absolutely outstanding. There are 62 of you watching. Thank you very much. Right, Saturday's games included a couple of early kickoffs, mate. There was an entertaining 2-2 draw between Grimsby and MK Dons. I think Grimsby came from 2-0 down in that one, so decent point for both sides. Grimsby's starting to pick up. MK Dons away from home. That's a good result against a side that's playing well. But based on the 90 minutes, you'd say Grimsby come out of that happier, don't they, having been 2-0 down at the break?
Yeah, 100%, especially when that's the aim of the game, and it's always a bonus if you go away and nick it and get 3 points, because it has been known to do that. But yeah, to get a draw, especially against MK, because they seem to have hit that form now. Things are picking up, and yeah, Grimsby's run continues, unbeaten. Little revival after a little sticky spell. I did worry about them because I think the contrast to the two halves of the season. Obviously, I've watched them earlier on, and they were pumping goals in, and then obviously watched that Oldham game. We were just such a contrast in the two teams that I'd seen. So yeah, a weird one, but yeah, it's good to see them back in form.
And then what Lee said about we like to pretend we know what we're talking about, because we did say last week that Newport had turned a corner with that win.
Yeah.
They conceded 4 against Accrington in the week, and they got bashed 3-0 by Bristol Rovers at the weekend, so they're back bang in trouble. Interesting bit of transfer news with them today. I'm going to say it before I remember it. Kai Whitmore has been one of their best players this season, mate. He's had his contract torn up by mutual agreement. Rumours were surfacing, apparently, I did see, I'm not going to confirm where, that apparently he's fallen out with Christian Fuchs, but that'd be a decent pickup for anyone. I think he's got like 7 goal contributions, which in a poor Newport team is really good. And I think he's only 22 years of age.
Yeah, it will be a big loss for them if that's true. Are we still there?
Yep, sorry, mate. I thought you was going to say something else.
No, it just frozen, I think. Big loss. Obviously, I think we've jinxed Newport now. I think we predicted them to win Tuesday, and obviously that's put the hoodoo on them. So sorry, Newport County fans.
Yeah, just ruined it. We do that plenty. We're not sorry, really. It's what we do. There was another big win not another big win, a good win for Salford after the setback in the week. They went to Tranmere and won by 2-0. Swindon got back to winning ways with a 3-1 victory over Barrow, who continue to flirt with the bottom places. There was a dull 0-0 draw between Shrewsbury and Barnet. Oldham got an absolute tanking off Cambridge, 3-0. Cambridge absolutely flying. We keep saying this every week. They just keep getting better and better. I think they're up to second. We will have a look at the table in a minute. There was a game in Kent, which everybody knows what happened, so we don't have to talk about that. Yeah, Gills got battered for half an hour. There's no point dressing it up. We were absolutely woeful defensively. Ben Thompson got a hat-trick. I missed the best goal of the game, unfortunately. Got 4 of the 5 on camera, the best one I missed. They're an astonishing football team for the level, Bromley Lee. They're managed by a great manager. They're the perfect example of giving a gaffer time, because I've said this plenty of times. He was linked to Gills in 2022 before Neil Harris took over, and he turned us down. Since then, they've won an FA trophy. They've gone to Wembley, got promoted via the playoffs, consolidated last season for any Oldham or Barnet fans that are listening. And now I cannot see them not getting promoted automatically. They are just ridiculously good at what they do. Yeah,
they look impressive, and it was an interesting one because you'd obviously picked up a little bit of form. They felt like they owed you one because of that penalty thing, and
they did, and some.
But you've got to give them every single credit. I think the comment that the guys just said about him obviously not saying anything to the team during the second half, he said. Which is testament to the team, because they know their instructions, they know what they've got to do. And if Andy Woodman feels that it's working, and obviously it clearly is, winning 4-1 at the Gills, he's pulling in the right direction on and off the pitch, and going places. And I cannot see him finishing outside that top 3, like you said.
No, I can't now. Bit of news for any Grimsby fans that are watching. It's not a new signing, but Cameron McJanet, it's just been announced, has signed a contract extension until the summer of 2027. So a bit of contract news there for Grimsby fans. But back to the results at the weekend. Fleetwood lost at home to Notts County by 2-1. So that was a 6-point week for the Magpies as they continue to fly high and challenge at the top end of the table. Crewe eked out a 1-0 win over Colchester. So not a good week for Colchester, mate. No goals scored in 2 games and lost both of them. Little bit of a setback, but a little bit of good news, I think, for them today, as it seems that Kyrese Lisby's move to Reading, which was seemingly happening all day, got called off at the last minute. So that means they get to keep him for the rest of the season. And
do we know why it got called off? Or
I think someone said just Colchester decided they didn't want to let him go with not enough time to get a replacement in, which is sensible. Isn't it? It's you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't in that situation, aren't you? Because if you don't sell him and then he has a drop off, you sell him for less, you get moaned at. Or if you do sell him and you don't get into playoffs, people say, well, why didn't you keep him? He's our best player. So it's tricky, isn't it? It happened to Gills years ago with Bradley Dack. I think we turned down bids of about 2 million, it was rumoured at the time, and then ended up letting him go for 750,000. So it is tricky. when you're trying to keep hold of your best players. Yeah, Crawley picked up a win against Harrogate. Like I said, unfortunately, everybody beats Harrogate by 2-0. There was an entertaining draw between Chesterfield and Walsall, 2 each, and Accrington won again. So Accrington, 2 games in a week, 7 goals, 6 points, 3-1 winners over Steve Cotterill's Cheltenham, who I believe was very unhappy if you've watched his post-match from that one. But yeah, that rounds up the action. So we'll have a quick look at the league table, and then we are full steam ahead with transfers for the rest of the show. So here we go. Let me just find this week's table. Right, here we go. So it's still Harrogate and Newport County in the bottom 2. Just a little gap now opening up, mate, isn't there? Harrogate on 18 points, Newport on 20, and then it's 3 up to Shrewsbury in 22nd. Above them, you've got Bristol Rovers and Barrow on 24, Crawley on 26. Then there's a 4-point gap to Cheltenham on 30. And then it's Tranmere, Oldham, Fleetwood, Gillingham and Accrington who make up the bottom half of the table. Accrington having an absolutely astonishing campaign based against what everyone said they would achieve, mate. 40 points already, 9 points off the playoffs. Doing a great job, isn't he, John Doolan?
Isn't it? Probably a lot of people had tipped him to be in that bottom 2. Yeah, it's just astonishing. Like I say, incredible. Obviously, they had the slow start and they were struggling, but yeah, to be 13th and just.
Yeah, they're above some good teams as well, aren't they? I think Lee's having issues with his Wi-Fi again, so we shall soldier on regardless and see if he can get that back to full fitness. Yeah, then the second, we'll look at the second half of the table, which is the top 12 places. It's Barnet, Colchester and Crewe up to 10th. You've then got Grimsby and Chesterfield just outside the playoffs in 9th and 8th respectively. But there is a little gap between 7th and 8th now. It's 45 up to 49, which is Walsall. We've already mentioned they continue to slide. Swindon in 6th on the same points. And then you've got a top 5, which comprises of Notts County and MK Dons in the final 2 playoff berths. And the automatic spaces are filled by, at the moment, Salford City on 52 points, Cambridge United on 53, and Bromley storming ahead on 59, albeit they have played a game extra than Cambridge and Salford and a couple of teams in the playoffs. So that gap could close up a little bit. But if you're looking at a side that's played 29 times this season and only lost 4 and won 17, it's very difficult to look past them as, dare I say it, not only automatic contenders, mate, but champions.
Yeah, we just said it's winning games, playing the right football, and yeah, I'd like to see him do it now, really would, just because of the story. We were there when they won it on the National League playoff final, and they've just gone from strength to strength, and it's quite an incredible story. To see him in League One would be unbelievable. So yeah, I hope they do it. I really do.
Yeah, no, I can't echo them thoughts enough. They're, like I said already, we're just repeating ourselves, but Andy Woodman's a ridiculously good manager for the level. He gets his players doing exactly as he wants, and they all know their jobs to an absolute T. So yeah, be really intriguing to see how they go for the rest of the season, but I cannot see them falling out of the top 3 spaces. Right, that is all the action done. So we'll remove that league table and we shall have a look at some more comments. And then we will start looking at transfers. Right, where did we get to? I don't think we said hello. Ash said evening, gents. So evening to Ash. Good to see you in the chat, mate. Oh, no, I think we did do that one. Sorry, we've gone up here. Here we go. This might be comment of the week. This is back to the Joe Quigley to Bristol Rovers rumour. He's like a Timu Niall Quinn, says Simon. I think
Brilliant.
Joe Quigley would take that. That's the closest he's ever going to get to being compared to
Yeah,
Niall Quinn.
Probably a compliment. That's probably a compliment, that, to be honest.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure Niall would be too keen on it, but I mean, I'm sure he's watching. And
yeah, evening, Niall.
Evening, Niall. How's Kevin?
What a partnership.
Oh, that was unreal. That was it. The definition of big man, little man. Travis Ackermere needs a chance to play. Yeah, Travis Ackermere is one that's re-signed for Gills actually in the window. One that's sort of gone under the radar because he was here for the first half, then got recalled, but he has come back. So yeah, be interesting to see where Gills go based on another signing that they've made today. Yes, Bill, we did see. I definitely did. I don't know if you saw it, Lee. Aaron Collins, very delayed reaction that won him a penalty against Grimsby. What did you make of it?
Yeah, a bit delayed, wasn't it? Just he felt the touch and he's thought, oh, sorry, I can't get anywhere. Best go down.
About a quarter of an hour after the touchdown, wouldn't
it? Yeah.
But you have to give the referee a decision to make. Jamie says Gills too late to repair this season, preparing for the side for next year. 2-year plan. Laughing emoji. Yeah, this. I mean, I know you're sort of saying that in jest there a little bit, Jamie, but yeah, we have to remember that was the tagline when Gareth took over. Whether we can get it done and get to where we want to be in 2 years, but I've said all along. I've said it on this show. I've said it on Gills related shows. Like top 12 would be progress for Gills. Top 10 would be a good season. Anything above that would be a real bonus. But yeah, I think if we're going to have a real go at the top 7, we really need to pick up soon. But at the moment, we're just far too inconsistent. Benjamin Haig says Patrick to Gills, ? Signing that. I'm assuming he's just asking the question. There's nothing come up that I've seen. And we are now 32 minutes past the deadline. So I don't think that's one that's happened or going to happen. Dale says Cambridge last defeat was at Notts County on the 25th of October. November, December, Jan. 4 months unbeaten. Some Gills fans wanted Neil Harris sacked. I shall get my tin hat for any Gills fans that didn't rate Neil Harris. I am only joking, but he's doing a phenomenal job. You can't say anything else. Bill says we had loads of chances second half, but Bromley were only in second. That's it. We did create loads, but Bromley were content to sit in and play with a handbrake on. And Pob 5000 says, has Cambridge done enough in the transfer window to push on their promotion drive? Nevitt hasn't scored for Gillingham, but Kakuri looks like he could be useful to bolster at the back. Right. I think we'll start talking about transfers, mate. Pob has led us beautifully into the transfer window. So, spreadsheets at the ready. First of all, mate, any that have jumped off the page that you've seen today or through the window, to go back to the question that was asked earlier? And then we'll try and go through club by club.
Let me see if I've made my notes, mate. I like the Kavanagh one to Oldham.
Yeah, you've watched a lot of Bradford as well, haven't you? So, yeah, that's a sensible one to look at because you've seen a lot of both teams. So, you know how he plays and you know what Oldham need.
I also like the Omar Beckles that you guys have signed. Plenty of experience. Did the Tommy Lee go to Bristol Rovers get done?
Let's have a look.
From Bradford.
I have a bit of breaking news here as well.
I know it was rumoured because that'd be a good addition.
Shrewsbury fans and Salford fans, if you're watching, Shrewsbury Town have just confirmed the deadline day signing of defender Kevin Burko. The defender joining from Salford for an undisclosed fee. So if there are any Salop fans or Amis fans, let us know what you think on that one. Who was we checking? Bristol Rovers. Let's have a look, see if anything has gone through late. No tweets from Bristol Rovers for 2 hours, so nothing confirmed at the moment. So again, it might be one, if it does happen, that we'll have to talk about at a later date, or you just have to search Twitter for it. We know Steve Evans, though, don't we? So we'll get to them. If we go through it club by club, Accrington, I'll do a couple that I think. Obviously, Jay Mateta's a ridiculous one for MK Dons. This kid was highly rated at Fleetwood when he went to Sunderland, jumped into the Championship. So to get him on a permanent in League Two just shows the pulling power of MK Dons. I think James Belshaw, in terms of best keepers in the division, that's a cracking move for Notts County. Yeah. I think he is a Notts County fan, so it's a great move for him as well at 35. Could just be the final piece in the puzzle for Notts County are having a good season, because I think all over the pitch they've been decent, but there was a lot of fans saying that Kel Roos was somewhat unreliable. I know he's gone to Scotland on loan. Walsall got back Alfie Kang.
Sorry, man. I noticed they'd also signed Leon Love.
From Barnet, because Barnet, he left there, didn't he? And then Barnet bought in, was it Kabongo Shamanga from Crawley on a permanent as well to replace him, and he got, I think he got 2 on his debut, didn't he, last week, Tshimanga?
Yeah, I was watching the highlights today, and I think he set up their winner unselfishly, played it across. When they said Liam Love, I'm like, Liam Love? Where about it?
Yeah,
So,
no, yeah, he was one there, permanent move, so that looked like a good one. Any others that jump off the page? There's plenty of loans. Obviously, there's some odd ones that we don't know a lot about. Alfie Dorrington, who I think's highly rated at Tottenham's gone to Salford this afternoon on loan. That's a good signing as well. Graydon was a good addition for them. Yeah, Walsall done a couple of decent bits as well, mate. Alex Patterson in on a free from Bradford, and Alfie Chang, who was on loan there last season, then went to Bristol Rovers first half of this campaign, but he's now been recalled, and Walsall have signed him on a permanent, I think, now. So I think that's a good signing for them, because they just need just something, don't they, just to get them going again, Walsall. So they look to have been proactive. I think Casper Lapata from Barnsley as well on loan is an interesting one. He's had spells away from Barnsley a few times. But yeah, so we go through it A through to W.
Yeah, smash it, mate.
Right, let's do it. Let's do some comments first as well. SBR19 says, yeah, don't forget there are deal sheets that this time, so we could use those. Yeah, I know, understand that fully, mate, that there might be some late ones that get confirmed a little after the deadline. But I've not known Jules to put one through late in all the years of Twitter and X being on. So Ryan Jones says, evening, lads. Hope you're well. Evening, Ryan. Very well. Thank you, mate. Do I recognise that person in that?
Yeah, you do, yeah.
You again, isn't it? Everywhere. This is Bromley's golden age, undoubtedly, says Darren Leverett. Yeah, couldn't agree more, and you have to make the most of it when it comes around. That's a lovely comment, mate, from Pob. He says, this is a better than Sky Sports transfer deadline. Oh, we're very informal here, mate. We don't make you wear a tie. Well, I wore one at the end of the summer transfer window. I nearly melted halfway through the episode, so decided against this time. Yeah. Benjamin Haig says, apparently Quigley's move to Bristol Rovers is for £150,000.
Jesus, Oldham. I tell you, they have had their pants down.
I was going to say, it's 2 words for that, pants down. Absolutely. Yeah. Like that, haven't we? It's like we do this all the time. That is mental.
How have they got a fee?
Genuinely staggered. £150,000. And Steve Evans is paying. Wow. Sean Raggett's gone to Cambridge, says Bill. That's been injured, but yeah, if you can keep him fit.
So there's a couple still trickling over the line, isn't there?
Yeah, that's just come up 8 minutes ago. Sean Raggett discusses his on loan till the end of the season from Rotherham. So that's a bit of breaking news. Thank you, Joe. Yeah, if you can get him fit, quality centre half at League Two level. He was very good at was it Portsmouth for a few years, wasn't it? Yeah. League One level. But I know he's had lots of injury problems. But yeah, it's probably a Neil Harris type of signing. There we go, just on Alfie Chang. Ryan says, happy to have Alfie back at Walsall. And Simon says, I'm excited at the Kavanagh signing for Oldham, but hope he can adapt with our hoofball style of play. Yeah, I mean, it's horses for courses, isn't it, with anything? So, but yeah, on paper, certainly looks a good addition. Right, Accrington, ins and outs, mate. Luke Butterfield, I think defensive midfielder from Chesterfield, has come in on loan along with David Abimbola from Bolton. And in terms of departures, only one, but a fairly significant one. Ben Ward, I think their defender went to Reading for a decent fee, which obviously helps Accrington because they're a small club. But yeah, it'd be difficult to replace the quality of Ward. Barnet, we've already discussed Kabongo Shimanga's move. They've also signed Dialang Jaisami and Philip Chinadu from Leyton Orient on loan. And as Lee already mentioned, Leon Love has gone to Notts County on a permanent deal. Barrow, been quite busy. Joe Anderson, Sunderland, Killian Barrett, Sheffield Wednesday, Danny Rose, Grimsby, all on permanence, and then Jovan Malcolm and Brandon Powell on loan until the end of the season from Stevenage and Blackburn, respectively. Haven't lost anyone of note that I've seen, but that's probably partly due to the fact that they're struggling at the bottom of the table, so you don't put yourself in the shop window too much. You're a Sheffield Wednesday fan, mate. Do you know much on Killian Barrett in terms of potential or anything like that?
I'd be lying if I did. I really would, mate. Yeah. He's not to any note of the ones that I've seen. Obviously, that played in the League Cup games. But yeah, I'd be lying. He's not stood out from the ones that I have seen.
No, fair enough. Bristol Rovers, obviously, we've
But
already
he's
said.
going to go and get a game.
That's it. And if the youngsters, they want to go and play, and I admire that. You don't want people that are just willing to sit on the bench or just play under 23s and pick up a wage. You want to get them out there and learning because it develops their career. Bristol Rovers have bought plenty in. Steve Evans is very much doing what he normally does. Riley Harbottle from Wimbledon on a permanent. Ryan de Havilland from Peterborough as well. And Mies Reeks from Valerenga. Been topped up with loan deals. Kane Thompson-Sommers from MK Dons. Kofi Barmer from Motherwell. And I had written down Isaac Hutchinson recalled, but like we've said, it looks like Hutchinson, so we will check while we're doing this, is going back to Cheltenham for the rest of the season. We'll see if anything's been confirmed. It hasn't on that note, but as we did report earlier, Harry Ashfield has been confirmed on loan from Wrexham for the rest of the season. So Cheltenham have made a late one. That's just been announced about 5 minutes ago. Bromley. Oh, and in terms of departures, basically just those that have been recalled by their parent club. So it was Stefan Negru back to Oxford, Alfie Chang back to Birmingham, and then Bromley signed Damola Ajayi from Tottenham's under-21s on loan. I think he was at Doncaster first half of the season.
He was, yeah.
Game time.
Really talented. I think he played a couple in the Europa League campaign, obviously season they won it obviously in the league, but seen a glimpse of it. I really like him, and for League Two I think he'll be a really good signing, and both what they've already got.
Andy Woodman gets him in, because they got a really good squad. They've also brought in giant centre half Sek Medley and Jess Deborah from Fleetwood and Port Vale on loan respectively, which replaces the departed Deji El-Aroui, who's gone to Lincoln for an undisclosed fee. And I think, like we said already, Omar Shumi's picked up an injury. So good business from them. Cambridge bought in Elliot Nevitt on loan from Gillingham. And we've just mentioned Sean Raggett. Haven't really lost anyone. Cheltenham been fairly busy, ins and outs. George Nurse on a permanent from Shrewsbury. Josh Davidson on loan from Tranmere. And Cole Deeming on loan from West Brom under-21s, plus Harry Ashfield that we've just mentioned. Have lost quite a few though, haven't they, mate? Delacoon was there for a short-term contract, but he's now gone back to Donny. Ethan Archer, who they'd sold to Luton and got back on loans, now gone to Port Vale. And I've written down Isaac Hutchinson return to Bristol Rovers, but by the time we log off, that might actually have gone back to Cheltenham, so that would be a really good bit of business for them. Chesterfield been busy as well, mate. Permanent deals include Malik Owolabi Bellewu on a free transfer, Freddie Ladapo.
Could you imagine me butchering that?
Yeah, that's why I'm doing this bit. I'm not going to lie to you. Freddie Ladapo on a free, who I think has played for pretty much every EFL club, it feels like now. And they've also got in Will Dixon on a permanent from Man City and Tom Pearce on a free transfer, as well as Seal Swinkles, Sammy Braybook and Sam Curtis on loan from Villa 21s, Leicester City and Sheffield United, respectively. We've already mentioned that Luke Butterfield's gone to Accrington on loan and Ronan Darcy left, go back to Wigan, and I now think it's gone to Crawley. Right, we'll do a few more comments. We might overrun tonight. You might get a bonus 15 minutes injury time this evening because it's a... I still can't. I've just read that Joe Quigley one again. That's absolutely done me, that is. That's knocked me sideways. 150k for what? You won't score a goal. Bristol Rovers, Camel Conti to Lincoln City. That's an interesting one because he's not been in the team. I like Campbell Conti. He was really good at not Lincoln, sorry, that's where he's going, at Grimsby, and that's what earned in the move. So that's an interesting one. Nothing confirmed yet by Lincoln, but thanks to Alpha Comrade, we'll keep an eye on that one. German Gilles
Reese in the comments. What's the name about?
Yeah, see, yeah, let us know what your username is, what the context is. Reese says, I just want to say both Lee and Matt make fantastic content and really keep me engaged with football and not distracted from the stresses of life. Thank you very much.
Oh,
absolute pleasure, mate. That's why we all do it, isn't it? You have to have an escape from the stresses of every day. Right, keep them comments coming back up to 59 in the chat. If we can go above 60 again, that'd be really good. Keep smashing that like button. Where did we get to, mate? Colchester? Finley Barbrook on loan from Ipswich and Finback from Wickham. Finback. Is that a name or is that just describing a body part? And in terms of departures, it was none, but we were keeping an eye on Kyrie's Lisby, but it looks like that's fallen through. So not a bad window at all for Colchester, who just need to pick up a win to get going again. Scott Lindsay, probably the most busy manager in the entire division. Kellen Gordon, Notts County, Danilo Orsi, Wimbledon, Lewis Richards from Bradford, Theo Vassell on a free, Taylor Richards on a free, Akin Odemayo from Newport, Justin Ferrazage from Bray Wanderers have all come in on permanence. There's been loan deals done for Ronan Darcy from Wigan and Clyde Lolos from Peterborough, as Scott Lindsay looks to get the band back together. In terms of departures, I think there was just one that got announced earlier. Jack Rolls has had his contract terminated by mutual consent, so it looks like he's going to go elsewhere. Shabanga, we've mentioned, to Barnet for a fee, and Gavin Holohan's gone back to Hartlepool on a free transfer. Crew, Ian Lawler on a permanent, goalkeeper from Doncaster, and Alfie Pond arrives on a loan deal from Wolves under 21s. I think the only person they've lost is James Golding, I think centre back, who's returned to Oxford United. What have we got next? Fleetwood. Fear for Fleetwood a little bit. Not going to lie. Lost Graydon. Pete Wild got sacked, which we discussed was a weird decision last week, didn't we, mate? And their business is just youngsters from under 21 sides. So Reece Bennett from Man United under 21s, and then Josh Powell and Asapa Osong from Notts Forest, that age group as well. And obviously, in terms of departures, we've already mentioned Graydon. They've lost goalkeeper David Harrington to Bolton, who was very good up until an injury. And Zach Medley's been allowed to leave for Bromley. Great move for Medley, isn't it? Missed most of last season injured. Scored the winner against Gills the other week. Turns up at Bromley, smashes Gills again. Probably going to win the league.
Yeah.
Easy life. Easy
got
life.
A cigar out, hasn't he?
He's loving it, isn't he? Comes out with a cravat on and everything like that.
It's a bit like me in this section with you doing transfers. I'm just sat here with a cigar while you smash it.
The worst thing is he was on loan at Gills, wasn't he? About 5 years ago when he was a kid, technically. And so was Ben Thompson, who scored that trick. So Bristol Rovers tweet incoming. Welcome to the Gas, Joe Quigley. It has been confirmed. The striker joins from Sky Bet League 2 outfit Oldham Athletic for an undisclosed. I can't believe the words Joe Quigley and undisclosed fee are still in the same sentence.
I'll tell you who will be having a cigar and a whiskey at this moment. It's Big Frank, 150 grand. See you later, Joe.
All the cigars.
Yeah.
Unbelievable bit of business. That's honestly, like Lee said earlier, 2 words, pants down. That is mental. Colchester, bit of business as well. Colchester announced in the signing of attacking midfielder Romeo Akachakuwu, who joins on loan from Southampton for the remainder of the season. The 19-year-old arrives with an exciting pedigree at both club and international level and has represented the Republic of Ireland across multiple age groups. So there's a bit of incoming news there for any Col U fans. Where did we get to? We did Crewe, didn't we? We've done Fleetwood. So that's my team, Gillingham. 3 signings have come in, all on permanence. Cameron Antwi from Newport, about 4 days after scoring in front of us at the Raidham end. Ronan Howe for an undisclosed fee from Ross County, and Omar Beckles today on a free transfer, having left Leyton Orient. You mentioned Beckles, mate. I think it's a great signing. He's exactly what we need in the centre of defence. We've tried this approach now where we're trying to be more proactive and more creative, but it's left us looking shaky at the back. So Omar Beckles will add loads of experience and know-how to a back line that's very young now if Connor Masterson has picked up another injury.
Yeah, he captained Leyton Orient as well, did he? Did I read that wrong? Club
captain, thought of in the PFA. I think he's got like an ambassadorial role there. He was their captain when they won this division in 2023. Yeah, and weird story was when they won the league, he'd actually got sent off that night and we beat them 2-0. And then there was a power cut. We come back out. Of course, all the other games had finished. Leyton Orient knew they'd won the league. So we spent 5 minutes just passing it amongst ourselves and they was just all running around cuddling each other. It was mental. So, really impressed with that. Yeah, funny old game, isn't it? So,
yeah, really
that was one you pointed out, weren't it?
Yeah, really good signing. Like I say, it's any team you want that experience, especially the ones that have had promotions on the CV. It always adds something to the squad. And yeah, I really rate the signing.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing him in action. Wonder if he might be registered in time to play at Notts County tomorrow. It'd be interesting to see how we set up. And in terms of departures for the Gills, we've already mentioned it. Elliot Nevitt's gone to Cambridge on loan for the rest of the season. Teams up with Mark Bonner again, who we have to remember signed him for Gills and is now the Cambridge Director of Football. Grimsby have been fairly busy. Jackson Smith, goalkeeper from Barnsley on loan. Andy Cook on a permanent from Bradford. And two more loan signings in the form of Tyrrell Sellers-Fleming from Hull and Maldini. That's a name, isn't it? No pressure, mate. Maldini's your Christian name. Woof. Maldini Kalkuri from Arsenal under-21s. And as we've already mentioned, departures of note. Danny Rowe's gone to Barrow, having been pushed further down the pecking order. Can Andy Cook make the difference? Can he fire them into the top 7 or higher?
Yeah, I think he's going to be an off-the-bench player, if I'm honest, because he's still coming back from a really bad injury. But having said that, to bring Andy Cook off the bench, I've just said we all sign it. It's experience, but yeah, he's. I think he's got something to prove. Also, I think he'll probably be a little bit gutted that Bradford moved him on, because he probably still thought that he had something to offer there. And you look at, obviously, Bradford, I know it's League One. You look at the signed Mullen. I think Cook, there's not much in them two. I really do. I think what Mullen brings, Cook can bring. So, yeah, I think it's a fantastic bit of business. Anyone linked with Cook. I know he were close to going to Barrow, but I think that fell through. But, yeah, for Grimsby, it's fantastic. And any striker that brings goals to the team, proven goal scorer as well, they're worth the weight in gold.
Absolutely. And it helps people like Jays Cabia around him as well, who can learn off of him and use all of the experience and lead into that. So, yeah, really good bit of business for Grimsby. Harrogate have obviously been busy. They're desperately in trouble. Grant Horton from Waterford, Aidan Marsh from Truro, Chase Headman from Brentford under-21s, and Cathal Heffernan from Newcastle under-21s were all permanents. They'd also signed Henry Gray from Ipswich, Emil Aqua from Dundee, and Emerson Sutton from QPR on loan. Henry Gray, goalkeeper, was outstanding against us last week. You fear it, he might probably be the one that gets the most notice on him because of the fact that they're so poor. And a couple of bit of business today, though. Sam Waller, another goalkeeper they've just signed on a permanent from Burnley, and Tobias Brennan arrives for the rest of the season from Wigan. But the big one for me, mate, James Belshaw leaving, I think, without being too premature, is probably the final nail in their relegation coffin, because he probably saved them 10, 15 points a season.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, I can't say any more on that.
I think they're banging trouble, unfortunately. Right, we'll do some more comments and then we'll get through the rest of the team's business. A father didn't like me. He says, I'm old enough to remember the days before transfer windows. Yeah, I think was it 2002 they got introduced? Before that, you could just sign people whenever you liked, couldn't you?
Yeah.
In the 1980s, you'd see the week's transfers listed in Shoot or Match magazine. Oh, we do love a Shoot or a Match magazine, to me and Lee.
Jesus, yeah. We could do a show on that, I tell you.
What on them Premiership nostalgia packs? Ryan Jones has just said, Joe, Jidakike returned to Walsall on loan from Stockport. That was down as a departure for me, so that's one that's gone back. Yeah, he was on loan from Derby, but he's come back, so that's a good bit of business there, Ryan. Benjamin says, yeah, Joe Quigley confirmed. Oh, I can't get my head around that. My head's spinning. Dennis says he thought Hale was a bright light on Saturday. The way he made space and his distribution, unlucky not to score. I think it's going to be a great track. Yeah, early signs. It's only 45 minutes, but that was very encouraging in terms of what he brought to us. Albeit we have to remember, Dennis, that Bromley were probably playing in second gear, having gone 4-1 up shortly after he came on. Ryan's going off to the gas tomorrow, so he said, watch Quigley score. You know. Nick Castleton would just like to stress that no pies were harmed in the making of the league. We don't harm pies, mate. Absolutely, we don't. We eat pies.
Yeah, we trounce pies, and I think Harrogate, although off on the pitch is shocking, they top the table in the pie.
Champions League, World Cup, Club Cup, Super Cup. That's what their pies are. Unreal. Yeah, if their football team were as good as their pies, they'd be outstanding.
Stockport was the best, but I've not been since. But I've heard they've changed their pie, who they get them from, and I've heard various reports that they're not as good. So I think Harrogate will replace him. I'm going to have to go.
Next season, we're going to have to find the new best pie in the EFL.
Yeah, Morecambe's were decent. Do you remember? Did we had one at Morecambe?
Meat and potato pie. You did a review on it. Yeah, Ava joined in. That was outstanding as well. Again, their pies were better than their football team, but there's extenuating circumstances for Morecambe. Benjamin says it's still trying to work out how he got 150k for Quigley to take at a tenner. Yeah, they probably paid for the taxi to get him there as well with that £10. I'm sure Joe is a lovely bloke, and it is all in jest. But yeah, that's incredible business from Frank, the old owner, to get that amount in. Right, let's carry on with this. Oh, go on.
Sorry, mate. It strikes me as a deal that obviously Bristol Rovers, where they are, it strikes me one of them deals like, we need to get someone in, pay it, sod it. Do you know what I mean? It's a panic.
Like, who was it years ago on that Sunderland Till I Die? Don't go over 1.25 million, 4 million for Will Grigg.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Director of football's like that. How much? Unbelievable. Here we go. Sid says that Bradford End are confirming now that Tommy Lee has gone to Bristol Rovers.
See, that is a really, really good signing, that.
Let's just see if Bristol Rovers have tweeted as well. Now, you'd imagine so if Bradford have put something out there.
Yeah.
No, they're still waxing lyrical over Joe Quigley. So if we go to Bradford's page, this is just me. What you have to imagine, everyone, is it's lower budget, but me looking at my phone is essentially the yellow ticker tape band that you get across the bottom of Sky Sports. But we won't charge you £50 a month.
Well, we can if you want.
Try. Nothing confirmed online yet, but Sid is our roving reporter at the Valley Parade, so we will take his word for it. Tommy Lee has gone to Bristol Rovers. If it doesn't happen, we'll put his Twitter details in the description at the bottom of the show.
He's currently stood outside the Valley Parade with Mike.
I got some kid with a sex toy behind him, like happened a few years ago.
Dildo in here, where we go.
Whacking him on the head with it. Where's the yellow ties for? Oh, we had to sell them, mate, to pay the StreamYard subscription, unfortunately. MK Dons, of course, we're going to do a bit of business. Ben Wiles from Huddersfield, Jay Mateta from Sunderland, and Curtis Nelson from Championship outfit Derby are the three permanents that they've bought in. In terms of departures, Kane Thompson-Sommers has gone on loan to Bristol Rovers, but didn't play a great deal, so not much of a loss in that sense. Newport County have been busy. Harrison Biggins, Ryan Delaney is another one for Lee. Tantaswa Nyakua have all arrived on loan from Shrewsbury, Swindon and Cardiff, respectively. They bought in striker James Kroll from Pennybront out of the Welsh League on a permanent. Here's one. I love a random transfer. Lewis Jameson arrives from Sacramento on a permanent deal. And today they signed, I think it's Norwegian centre midfielder Sven Sprangler. What a name that is. From St Johnstone on loan for the rest of the season. I have lost Sammy Braybrook, who went back to Leicester and then has gone subsequently to Chesterfield. Michael Raindorf returned to Cardiff. Habib Gunai returned to Manchester United. Nick Zarnev's another one who's got a cracking agent. He's somehow got to move to Huddersfield in League One. I'm assuming he's not going to be first choice. And as we already said, Kai Whitmore, very odd one this, so I don't know if there's any Newport fans, has just had his contract torn up. Like I said, there was reports apparently he's fallen out with someone, might be Christian Fuchs, but if you're Newport, you don't get rid of your best players, do you? Certainly not for just tearing their contract up. It's very odd.
Yeah, did you say he's got seven goals from this season?
I think it's 7 goal contributions. Let me just have a look.
Yeah, I can't remember if you said 7 goals or 7 goal involvement.
I think it might be 4 goals and 3 assists, or the other way round. But in a side that's struggling, that's
big numbers.
Does seem a little bit strange, yes. Kai Whitmore, no team. Season. 16 games, 12 starts, 3 goals, 4 assists.
Yeah.
Interesting one to keep an eye on. Be a very good free transfer, like I say. And he can be signed out the window, of course, because he's not attached to a club. But yeah, he's only 24 years of age. That's
what's his position? What midfield?
Plays central midfield. Yeah, I think he plays as like an 8 or as a 10 at times. Yeah, so Someone will pick him up, I'm sure. Yeah, very odd. Right, Notts County bought in James Belshaw, which we've already mentioned. That was one of our standouts. Leon Love that Lee's mentioned from Barnet. They've also signed Luke Brown on a permanent from Palace under-21s. Beck Ray Enoru from Tamworth. Another excellent name. I love it. I just love League Two sides signing foreigners because it absolutely makes me laugh. Remember when Jill signed Jorge Hurtado from Watford on loan to Colombia a couple of years ago? Unfortunately, he lasted 3 games and he had his knee kicked off by Swindon. But yeah, Notts County's last signing of the window, unless we've missed one, Harold Tangen from Sarpsborg on loan until the end of the season. Departures for the Magpies, Kellen Gordon to Crawley on a permanent. Keller Roos has gone to Kilmarnock on loan. And Sonny Al Joffrey returned to Man United when his loan deal expired. Do some more comments, and then we've got the last few clubs. You are getting bonus content this evening, and I don't mean OnlyFans for those that are of a certain age.
Just about to say, I'll let you do that, mate.
Well, I didn't want to get the wrong idea. You said we might start charging people a subscription, so they don't want to see any of us with our shirts off. My father didn't like me. Says, I'll be interested to see how Freddie Anderson, son of Forest, Arsenal, Sheffield Wednesday and England legend Viv, does at Barrow. He was very good for Cork City in the League of Ireland.
Oh, yeah.
Another transfer I love. Remember Viv Anderson. Wasn't he the first black man to play for England?
Yeah, I remember. He's highly rated, to be honest.
Freddie?
Yeah, so when I went to Ireland to do a game, a couple of mentioned him out there that I spoke to, and obviously, you know, as soon as he said Viv Anderson, obviously I'm ex-Wednesday as well, your ears prick up. So yeah, will be very interesting to see how he gets on.
One we'll have to try and keep an eye on for the rest of the season then, definitely. What else have we got? SBR GFC is doing a bit of championship reporting for us. They've announced Patrick Roberts signing. I couldn't tell you where he's come from, to be honest. I don't take much of an interest in the Premier League. Is it Sunderland?
Or Middlesbrough. Might be Middlesbrough, actually.
Did he score in the playoff final for them a couple of years ago when they come up from League One?
Yeah. I know he's had spells at Sunderland and Middlesbrough. I can't remember which one he was at last.
Here we go. We've got Sean, the Gills fan, says Hurtado was a complete fever dream. We shall talk about him for 20 years. We shall. 3 cameos. Unbelievably good. I don't think we lost when he played, yeah, and then unfortunately picked up a knee injury, and I think he's somewhere like PAOK Salonika or something really, really random now. But yeah, you got to love a random transfer. Oldham have made 4 signings that we alluded to earlier in the show. Kane Taylor from Aston Villa and Fabio Jallo from Barnsley have come in on loan. Callum Kavanagh, that we've already spoke about, an intriguing one from Bradford, and also Dinel Simiu on a free transfer. In terms of outgoings, nothing of note. I think, is it Kean Harrott's gone to National League on loan but hadn't played a lot, so not one that they're going to miss loads. We then moved down to Salford, who've done some decent business. Zach Orr from Southampton on a permanent youngster, and Ryan Graydon for reportedly 600,000 from Fleetwood. They've also signed Alfie Dorrington on loan from Tottenham today. And again, another team that's not lost anyone of note. So they're in a good position, mate. I think they're currently 3rd. They're well positioned to have a right go in the second half of the season. Yeah,
100%. Like this January window, you got either teams that's obviously in that relegation mix or teams in the playoffs and top 3. So it's all about getting them just to push you over the line. Sorry, just to push you over the line, and it bolsters the squad and gives you that freshness as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Like we say, they're in and Carl Robinson, their manager, knows how to get out of this division. He knows how to get promoted. So yeah, be interesting to see how they go over the second half.
It's the best chance they've had for, like I said. I think they had a good.
They got to playoffs about 3 years ago, didn't they? I think lost in the semi-finals.
Yes, to Stockport. I was there that day. So that was probably the closest that they've been. I think they had a good one when they got promoted. Either the first season or second season. But yeah, they've not really been in this position. So like I said, they're signing players to push them over the line, aren't they?
Right, we've got another comment coming, mate. Matchday Miles says Joe Quigley will score loads for Bristol Rovers. We need some context there, Miles. Is that loads for Joe Quigley or loads? So give us a number and then we'll see how close you are at the end of the season if we remember.
I bet he don't score 5.
I agree with you. 2 I'll go for. We get 2 between now and the end of the season.
Well, how many has he got for Oldham? I don't think he's got 5 for Oldham, has he?
No, he's got 2, hasn't he? You going?
I'm going. Joe Quigley.
Benjamin says Quigley to score 2. Both will be against Oldham. Right, you look for that. I'll carry on. Shrewsbury have been busy. They've signed Isaac Lee on a permanent from Flint Town, Ewan Morgan and Matthew Cox on loan from Brentford. Here's another excellent name for you, mate. Temple Ojanake from Wolves under-21s on loan. Nick Freeman comes in on a free transfer, I think, having left Stevenage. And another really easy name to pronounce, Trey Samuel Ogunsuyi from Sunderland under-21s. They've lost George Nurse on a permanent to Cheltenham as he teams up with Steve Cotterill. Harrison Biggins has left for Newport on loan. And another weird one, mate, like the Kai Whitmore one, was Chuck Sanike. And it got announced that he'd had his contract torn up and he was stepping away from his footballing duties. Well, what does that mean? How can a professional footballer step away from his footballing duties? I've never seen anything like it. It's usually because he's going to take an opportunity elsewhere. He's just gone, no, I don't fancy it for the rest of this month. It's a bit chilly.
We had a player Wednesdays called Jeremy Elan. Don't know if you remember him.
Vaguely.
Left winger. Years ago.
Right.
And he just retired. Just took up his religion. Just, all right, nice one. See you later then.
Fair enough.
Just that were it. Just decided to retire. But yeah, it's rare. I mean, how old is it?
Lee's just having Wi-Fi issues again. Lee, we've lost you, mate. So you'll have to repeat that story because I didn't hear any of it. Sam 1309 says, "Can we have a shout out?" Evening to Sam from myself and Lee. Lee, put your thumb up when you're back to normal, mate. Oh, yes, that was it, Simon. Thank you. He says Harrott went on loan to Brackley and Will Sutton to Sutton. There's another good transfer. Ash says, good signing for Tranmere Zek Obiero. So, yeah, that's one we've missed. So thank you for Ash for keeping us up to date with that one. Right, Lee's disappeared, so I will carry on single-handedly at the moment. We will look at Swindon Town, who've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 signings. It looks like Ben Middlemass from Sunderland under-21s and Fletcher Holman from Wolves age group as well. Both arrived on permanent deals. They've signed Michael Olakigbe from Brentford B on loan, Aidan Borland from Aston Villa, and Jake Batty arrived on a permanent this evening from Blackburn Rovers. In terms of outgoings, just one, but it was a big one. Finley Munro's having an outstanding campaign, was recalled by Aston Villa, and I think it's gone elsewhere on a permanent or on a loan deal. It might be Middlesbrough, if anyone can confirm that. Last 2 teams, but by no means least. Tranmere have signed Lewis Warrington on a permanent from Walsall. James Plant as well on a similar deal from Port Vale. They brought in loan signings Dylan Jones and William Tamen from Norwich and Everton under-21s respectively. And they've sent Josh Davison out on loan to Cheltenham Town. And Walsall, we've already mentioned Alfie Chang, good signing from Birmingham, and Alex Patterson from Bradford. They're both on permanents. Casper Lapata comes in on loan from Barnsley, and Aaron Lubala B from Fulham. And in terms of departures, Ryan Finnegan returns to parent club Blackpool. And we did have it down as Jid Okiki had left and gone back to Derby, but has since been confirmed that he's now gone back to Walsall for the rest of the season. So, fingers crossed, we have covered absolutely everything. If we've not, then we do apologise. We've tried to keep abreast of it by as well as we can. Lee is trying to get back in, but it says his device is not connected. So you're going to have to just put up with me for the last couple of minutes, I'm afraid. As always, thanks to everybody who's been watching. We do appreciate it. Here he comes for the last knock-ins. Just let him back in. He's banging on the door frantically, and he's back. Because YouTube. You think he'd going to buy a new modem, wouldn't you? Surely.
It's because my Wi-Fi switched off my phone to my iPad that I do it on. Got his knickers in a twist.
Well, you didn't miss a lot. We went through the last couple of clubs. Ash confirmed a signing for Tranmere for us, which was Zek Obiero. Yeah, Troy's got an idea. He says, Lee forgot to pay his Wi-Fi again. I will send you 50p. Yeah, we'll have to set up a GoFundMe page for Lee's internet, won't we? Bless him, 'cause he's stuck in the shed.
Yeah.
I think we've covered everything, mate, haven't we? We've done really well there. Hour and 10 minutes. To squeeze all that into 70 minutes, I think it's quite impressive from everybody. So everybody who's helped us out, really appreciate it. Oh, another bit of news, breaking news. Kieran and Morris has left Oldham to join Halifax Town on the deal till the end of the season. And Greg the Fish says, need that OnlyFans now to support the Wi-Fi bill.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody needs to see Lee's OnlyFans. I'm not saying Lee's got OnlyFans.
Yeah,
I'm just saying if it was a thing, that's not a late exclusive on the show.
Yeah, be on Twitter later.
He'll be messaging me going, why has my subscriber count dropped significantly in the last half an hour?
Hey, it might go up.
Keep getting weird messages on Instagram as well. No, like I say, thanks to everybody who's watched tonight and contributed and commented and shared and liked and done all that, because we say it every week. If not, it's just us two talking to each other. And quite frankly, we can do that on a phone. So we do appreciate it all. I want to do a big shout out to Mark Halliwell as well. He's a Cheltenham Town journalist. You can follow him on X at Mark Halliwell1. He's been absolutely brilliant in our League Two WhatsApp group, keeping us up to date with all the breaking deals and rumours throughout the month, and it certainly made my job a lot easier this evening. So thanks to him. Anything else to add, mate, or shall we blow full time?
No, just before I go, I just want to congratulate you on your amazing effort tonight. You made Sky Sports News look absolutely crap. Great research, as always, mate. Made my job far easier. I'll just sit here with a cigar and just listen to you talk about transfers. Yeah, the show won't be out without you, mate. So, yeah, top lad.
No, appreciate it. And we keep calling it a job, but it's not a job. We do it because we enjoy it, like I say. And if we can bring content to more people, then that's the absolute be all and end all for us, isn't it? I think, of course, we love football, but yeah, Lee with his vlogs and me with my Gills match day action is to try and get action into the living room for people that can't get to games. So yeah, from both of us, thank you very much. The support doesn't go unnoticed. Dennis says, cheers, guys, great show. Lee, Reese, sorry, has sent me and Lee a load of emojis. Thank you, Reese. Nice to see you in the chat, mate. I know you're generally busy, so appreciate you watching. And again, thanks to everybody else. As always, he has been Lee. Greg says, great as always. Thank you, Greg. I've been Matt. This has been the League 2 Hour, and we will see you again next Monday.